Hello, everyone. Curious about all things paranormal? Well, you're in for a treat because each week we dig up the top three craziest stories and mysteries right from our Facebook group. So grab yourself a drink. Uh oh. Hold on a second. Grab yourself a drink and get ready to dive into Top Paranormal Stories of the Week, episode 17. But before we dive into our first submission, I want to take a quick look back at some of the highlights from last week's content, which was really, really crazy stuff. Last week on Beyond the Hub podcast, we journeyed into the dream world and beyond. So we kicked things off with lucid dreaming, where we talked about how you can actually take control of your dreams. Okay. So, we covered how it supposedly helps with PTSD and even improve your motor skills. Plus, we discussed some cool experiments where people communicated while dreaming. And Brandon finally shared his stories about his lucid dreaming experiences. And then next up, we had astral projection. Now, things got pretty intense as we explored leaving your body to travel to another plane of existence. We discussed scientific research on out-of-body experiences and different techniques to even try it yourself. Brandon shared his chilling story about encountering a dark figure while astral projecting, which definitely gave us the creeps. Okay, so then finally we wrapped up the week with the dream realm that came out just a little bit ago. And we talked about those vivid dreams and that make you feel like you're in a different world. And maybe you are. We explored some psychological theories about how dreams reflect our deepest thoughts and fears, and shared some more awesome personal stories, not only from us, but from you all. It was definitely an epic week that was a long time in the making, and it left us all questioning the boundaries between our dreams and reality. Now that that's out of the way, I want to thank you all for tuning into Beyond the Hub podcast. I'm Nick. Brandon is out sick today. He cannot join us. He might be in the live with us. I am not sure, but everyone send some quick recovery to Brandon. I want to jump in to this week's first topic here. One moment here. Let me pull this up. So this was sent to me from, actually, hold on a second. Leanne, morning from down under. Nice to see you. And Ashley O'Brien, hi. This is actually Ashley's story. She sent this to me in a message, and we're going to play it out. You got to hear this story. Okay. All right. So we start off. This was the communication she had. She sent me a message. This is not like a normal post. Hi, my name is Ashley O'Brien, and I'm a psychic medium and paranormal investigator. I was part of the Greater Western New York Paranormal Society, as well on YouTube web series Behind the Shadows. I have a pretty crazy story from when I was 11 to 12 years old. It actually changed my life, and I realized I was different and I had psychic abilities. I've never told anyone this story in my 45 years of life, and I responded, hey, Ashley, we'd love to hear that if you're willing to share it. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Hello, I do have a personal story that might be of interest to you. My parents always had a tumultuous relationship, seemingly loving at times, but usually had an undercurrent of mistrust and abuse. It was a very toxic relationship, held together by codependency and drug abuse. Being from Irish Catholic descendants, they worked hard to make it appear to outsiders that everything was normal. But the truth was a harsh reality of physical and psychological abuse. One spring evening, I was about 11 years old. I was upstairs playing in my room alone. I typically stayed alone in my room, as none of my siblings were home at the time. My parents were downstairs, coming off a weekend-long drug bender. I remember the silhouette of the bedroom being cut by shouts and banging from the lower level of our townhouse. I recall hearing my mother screaming and crying. Fighting was a norm that I was used to in my household, but this time it felt different. I slowly and quietly crept down the hallway to see what was going on. I carefully peeked over the banister to see my mother sprawled on the stairs. Okay, trigger warning here. my father looming over her, shotgun primed and pressed against her forehead. I could sense the rage in my father as he screamed at her at the top of his lungs. Over and over he yelled, "Say goodbye, Justine. Say goodbye." I don't know what started this battle for life in my living room, but I feared the resolution. Just then, a cold chill in hand pressed against my shoulder. I looked over to see an older woman. The paranormal had never scared me, even at a young age, but this time was no different. The woman was probably in her 30s to my best guess, but I felt like it was a hard-weathered 30. Gray skin and cloudy eyes were just her condition at the moment. I didn't think that it hid that she may have had a very hard life. She looked worn. When she turned her head, I could see what appeared to be blood on the side of her head and matted in her hair. She said, "Follow me," led me back to my room. She told me I needed to get the phone and call the police. She pointed at the closet and told me, "You'll be safe in there." I spoke to the operator and gave them my name and address and told them my father was going to shoot my mom in the head. I waited on the phone with the lady in the closet, anticipating the worst. Eventually, I heard a large bang and a lot of commotion, preceded by someone coming up the stairs and calling, "Ashley, it's office so-and-so. You can come out now." The officers gathered to tell me that my mother was fine and that I did such a great job by calling 911 in that situation. I let them know that I was fine and just hid with the lady in the closet. She told me to call the police. After a thorough search of the entire house, the officers told me that they couldn't find any lady. They later explained to my mother that I may be in shock considering the traumatic experience. But I knew that woman was real, and it wasn't my first encounter. I recently am in remission from cancer. I almost died from it, and it changed me in a scary way. It changed my psychic mediumship. Thank you, Ashley O'Brien. Wow. What a story. I'm so glad you are in remission now, too. That could not be a more just insane story. What is everyone's thoughts in the comments there? What do you think about that story? Thank you, Ashley, for sharing that with me and letting me share that to everyone else. As we all ponder that story, I want to go and let's continue on here. Feel free. Ashley, no, thank you. Yeah, no problem, Ashley. We'll see what everyone else has to say about that. That story is insane. I really think that you definitely had a guardian angel out there. There's definitely someone out there looking out for you, and they probably knew that you could see them. That's crazy. If you want to share any more stories about your abilities, we'd love to hear from that. We actually have some stories about psychic abilities coming up in a podcast in, I don't know, about a month maybe or so. But let's check out this real quick. So this comes from Darren Oldling. Okay, it says, "Here you go. Sound-based evidence." Okay, some background. The wife went downstairs this morning to get coffee and my B-Day presents. Then her and the dog came back up. About 5 minutes after I got a notification from our downstairs camera, which in itself isn't a surprise, but the nature of the notification was a baby crying. We have kids but teens, and they are at their dad's. Neighbors are super quiet and don't have a baby. We never hear a baby crying, so this had to be investigated. Check out the video, and this is what we heard. Let me start a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's click the video here. It's being cut off by the screen right now, but it's... Does everyone hear that? It's right in the beginning. So there's nothing visual that you need to see that's being cut off. Just listen to this and let me know if you guys hear anything. I'm not sure if I hear necessarily a baby crying. Uh, I want to say it's obviously it's something, but hold on a second. I don't want to try to back off real quick off of this so I can put in full screen. Sounds like a little cat. Yeah, like a cat. Sounds like a chair moving across the floor, like scraping, or a dog whimpering. Definitely not a baby. Yeah, I didn't hear baby in there at all. I heard if it was someone, it's definitely. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Can we see these comments? Hold on a second. Hello, I'd like to see the comments, please. Okay. All right. Sounds nothing like a baby. Don't think it's a baby, but it's something. What else we got? Let me play it again. Hmm. Sounds like there's definitely some like whining in there or something. Sounds nothing like a baby. Why is this being cut off here? Listening to it with my earplugs, it definitely sounds more like a spirit girl asking who or what's her dad. That's what I can hear. Someone else put their headphones, listen to it, and see. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's words, like not just like a crying. May I share this with someone and see what the. Yeah, definitely. Who's upstairs? Let's see if we can hear that. I'm not sure. You know, you get that, and you try to put that together, try to piece that together with what someone else perceives it, and I think it's kind of like how you matrix things into a picture. You're just kind of hearing what you want to hear or what you're being told. Uh, I'm not sure that's what it says. Anna Lockwood, one of our moderators, be careful with that because bad spirits are worse. Will imitate a child to deceive and gain trust. That is true as well. Sounds nothing like a baby. Definitely creepy. Okay, my Bluetooth was clear. Who's upstairs or whose are theirs? I'm getting whose. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Let's. Huh? I'm getting who's upstairs. Maybe. Who's upstairs? Hmm. Someone's saying Leanne. Sound like it says something. Um. Sounds like a baby saying "mama." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Let's go to this post. How's upstairs? Yeah, that might be it. Hold on. What is it? We are at 165,000 people in here. What the heck? Thank you so much. Marbles sounds like the cat. Hello. 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 Yeah, the cat does make our cat does make some noises like that. All right. I hope I don't accidentally like put my mouse over this anonymous participant's name because it will show who they are, only for me. Sounds like the cat. Hello. Let's see this. Okay, I'm posting because I'm unsure. My family and I moved to a new property. 3 weeks we've been there. Well, last night I was asleep and woke up to something heavy on top of me. I could not lift myself up or even lift my legs. like a constant jumping on me. And whatever it was I was feeling, my head and ears felt like they were pulsating and just inflating and inflating. I can't explain. I also wish I was making stories up. I'm not. This lasted for about 10 minutes. I will also add I'm unsure whether it is a human malevolent spirit or an animal spirit or a spirit that means no harm. As I received a clear growl in my ear, I was stuck for about 5 to 10 minutes. I would say it is not a spirit that is not trying to harm you, or that is not trying to not harm you. You know what I mean. I was stuck for 10 minutes. I eventually made it stop by rolling over somehow and cuddling my 2-year-old son. It just stopped. But it has absolutely godsmacked me. Gobsmacked me. And I don't understand, but I'm ordering sage during the week to cleanse this house of mine to make it safe just in case it is a bad spirit. I will add previous tenant lived here for 20 years before me, but she is alive, so I don't understand. Well, maybe ask her if she had experiences as well, he or she. But is it just me, or is anyone else going through the posts in here? And there is a lot of posts about sleep paralysis and stuff like that. That's what I think this was. There is a lot of posts that are coming up like this. If it growled, it's demonic. Yeah, it's definitely something dark there. But because I have another post that had to do with something like this too. Is anyone else experienced sleep paralysis or any of that stuff? Let us know. Did I say hello to Kevin? Maybe. If I didn't, hi Kevin. Okay, one sec. We have some, I shall say, honorable mentions that I wish to bring up here. So let's bring up some of these honorable mentions because we hit our 3 that we talk about. But we're still running a little under time. Okay. All right, hold on a second. This is from one of our moderators, Tara. Sign at Dundas and Bathurst in Toronto, Ontario. See, folks, nothing good can come from these. What? What? What happened on that patio? What is going on here? I need some sort of recent events. I need more information. Hold on, let me go through the comments. Nope, I tell my kids never bring a Ouija board in my house. That is true. But Ouija boards are no longer. Why were they allowed on there in the first place? Just is that a normal place that people go to bring their Ouija boards? On the patio? There's like, oh, do you want to go to the patio over at that at Dundas and Bathurst? What? Are demons on the patio now? What's an Ouija board? I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Let's see if someone explained it to her. There we go. It could be anything. At least we have people actually explaining stuff here. Used as entertainment purposes. Yeah, very nice. Like that. I like explaining. I don't like just putting it out there and just letting them fend for themselves. When people ask a genuine question like that. Okay. This was a funny post. I just wanted to add that in there. Okay. All right, this one. Do we have here? This one needs more of a backstory. I don't have a backstory, Kevin. Okay. Another anonymous participant. Hey, everyone. Nope, I almost doxed him. I'm having these strange activities during the night in sleep times. Okay. Initially, I started having... Let me move this up a little bit. Initially, I started having dreams that turned out to be real almost every single time since childhood years. In between these years, I've woken up to strange things like waking up suddenly and watching a white, almost 3 to 4 foot whitish gray air as shape of a human, but not in proper shape, i.e., no head, arms, etc. Sometimes I've been woken up being beaten and even often used to have scratch marks on arms. One day I woke up, I had a 4 to 5 foot guy with reddish sort of eyes who was staring at me angrily, and sometimes hearing footsteps in the room. I'm just reading this verbatim. With passage of time, things are moving positively with no harm, just dreams that turn out to be real, sudden goosebumps as if someone touched me, and silent laugh or dream of blackish shadow staring and haunting me in room corner. Today it was totally strange when in the morning my 2 alarm turned off someday, calling me names saying, if you're unable to wake up from an alarm, let us wake you up on time. It's no big deal. Wait a minute. What? That's weird. And this made me feel like something is very near to me, which gave me a feeling of protection. Not sure what it is or why it's happening to me. Even as a few months ago, I woke up from feeling of someone almost offing me, was sitting up on me and arms around my neck. What? This may sound like sleep paralysis, but it was real. I was able to see the shadow in the very last moments. We'll appreciate if someone can guide. We changed home 3 times since childhood, and my family used to feel someone else is present a lot of times. Now I am away from home in a new country, but still being followed. What do you guys think about this one? Scary. It hopes to get better. Hope it gets better for you. I can't speak today. Marbles, laughing my ass off. Actually, cocktails and conjuring is from the other one. Maybe, but this one is definitely, like I said before, there is a lot of instances of sleep paralysis or things of that nature coming up. I wonder if there's some sort of state in which it happens more often in a certain amount of times. It's very interesting that this keeps happening, but this guy or this person moved and it's still happening to them. And that's why I want to make sure, if you join this group, you can feel free to share your post in an anonymous participant way. Obviously, I'm not going to dox you, not on purpose, but if you want to share your story without, feeling ridiculed or anything, even though we wouldn't ridicule you, go ahead, feel free to. Strange story, Kevin. Kevin says strange story. You're being physically harmed by a paranormal entity. Contact a Catholic priest and contact a paranormal investigation team to confirm you have an entity. I would say so. Okay. What is this one? We got some. These are honorable mentions. Okay. You guys might like this one. This is from Jenna Molds. My mother caught this orb, and I swear zoomed in, it looks just like her dog she was very connected to that passed. What do you think? So here's the picture in question. Oh, wow. Interesting. So obviously this is the orb. This is where she was standing. Let's see the next pictures. There's the dog. I'm assuming they mean by the nose. Brightened with HDR. I'm not going to not say it is because I don't want you to not think. If that's what you think it is, who am I to tell you it's not? You guys are free to believe whatever you believe. It's definitely something. I don't know if it's some sort of... It doesn't really look like a lens flare. To me, at least. Just from the way the angle is. I'm not actually sure at all. Just join from your short. The Devil Boy just joined from your short videos. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Well, Kevin, what do you think it is? You think it's a... I'm gonna say it's something. I don't know if it's the dog, but if that's what she wants to believe, then it's the dog. Leanne says, I've seen my mom's face in an orb after she passed. In a pink orb. I have the pic. Leanne, I'd like to see that pic if you have the time or whenever you want to share it. Maybe tag us in it so we can see it. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Love to see that picture. That is I'm so sorry to hear about your mom passing, but that's very interesting. We'd like to see that. But hold on a second. I'm not done yet. So I saved this last one for last. You put it up in that post. Okay. So if you could tag us in that, that'd be, I'm not sure what post. So this one I don't have it up. This one I found interesting. So this is from Christopher Collins. This is some investigative work we got going on right now, okay? So stay with me here. This isn't this. So this would be on the verge of paranormal / interesting. I live in the hollers in the mountains of West Virginia. Ran these mountains all my life and have seen everything natural that inhabits the area naturally from ground to air. I would have thought myself that this would be a bug or bird if I hadn't seconds before taking this photo cleaned my lens and just remember that the moment and there was no planes or birds in the sky anywhere whatsoever. I didn't even realize that this was even in the photos until a family member made me aware of it. I can't say 100% that it's any certain one thing, but I can say I am very observant of my surroundings, and it was not seen with my naked eye. Okay, Charles. Hey, I'm in for the moment. Glad to see you live. Thank you for stopping by. Jason, I have a pic of my daughter with her godparents when she was 3, a huge orb surrounding her. Yes. Let's see these pictures. Leanne, that one with the dog orb. Oh, okay. Here's the picture. So he took, obviously he's out of his car, and this is what we're supposed to be looking at right here. I will copy this link and I will post it in here so you guys can see this one as well if you guys want to take a closer look. So if we pay attention to this on my screen, or whenever you guys decide to see this, it's harder for me to convey this to you right now. It just seems a little off. Like when I dissected this and looked through this on my monitor, it looked like there was a line here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It looks like there's a line here exactly where this thing is. Now, I'm not saying that it's doctored. I'm saying that it's very interesting, that this little line. So if you guys click on the post afterwards and just see for yourselves, you'll see this line here. So this is the object in question. I'm not sure, but Marble says, is this a UFO or a bug? He claims he cleaned the camera lens right before this, and seeing the distance, it's hard to really judge the distance here. Is it behind the mountains or is it in front of the mountains? But whatever it is, if it's that big from that distance, it's probably bigger than this car. At least what from what I'm looking at. But the way it just doesn't. Okay, so Charles, you can see the darker line here. So it looks like it's like there's 2 lines here, and it goes just exactly over where this object is. Blur is rough to make it, yeah. So I took to this and I said, wait a minute. Because he had a timestamp on the bottom here. 10/24/15/28. Non-military people, that is 3:28 p.m. So hold on a second. So I clicked on his Facebook, and I found another picture on there. Let me pull up. Let me pull this up because we already know his name. And he has another photo taken at around the exact same time. So when I looked at the sky, I could see that I couldn't see that blur. So this is obviously from a different angle. Let me see if I can go back and forth here. We can see that this is the same tree. He's just standing right here. See the tree right there? So this is taken seconds afterwards. Or who knows what was the first one. So I noticed when I looked over here, I couldn't really see that stuff in the sky. But I did notice that there are two more anomalies here. These look like birds, but I'm not sure. I mean, it happened to be taken at the exact moment that this happened. So do with that as you will. I'm just looking up at the sky. I don't see that same streak, but I do see things up here. He says he didn't see any birds. I mean, this is quite a distance away, but we can see the birds or whatever these objects are. I just thought that was interesting that there's still things up there in the sky at that moment, at the same time, in a different direction. So we go back to this one. It's right here. This, if it is real, is something. I'm not sure, but if we go from here, then we see these are obviously further out, but still large enough. But I mean, it could be birds. Do with that as you will. I'm just reporting what I found. But that is going to bring us to the end of our slightly longer than 30 minutes live stream. If you liked what you heard and made it this far, why don't you hit that like button or subscribe if you haven't yet, and make sure you click that little bell to stay updated, because we have lots of cool videos coming up. But everyone, don't worry, the conversation doesn't end here. Normally on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays we post videos, but obviously with Brandon being sick this week, we'll have to just make some shorts or something and post them. But if you're new here, check out our previous series where we attempt to unravel other mysteries. 1 second, and we see what Kevin says. Darker line of mine, blur. Yes, sir. Yeah, I can see it too. Kevin says, oh yeah, if you spend enough time in the outdoors, you're bound to see some strange things day or night. Absolutely. Sorry, I just found your live so late. No worries at all, Charles. Leanne, sorry. Bye, see you all next week. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you all live next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep the conversation going in the comments. Tag us in your post for the chance to be featured. And stay tuned for more Beyond the Hub podcast. We'll see you soon.